with the news dropping yesterday that Olivier Giroud is on his way to LAFC to join up with international teammate Hugo Lloris, I thought, why not move him there in Football Manager? We'll be able to see exactly how he'll get on before he actually moves. So let's jump ahead right now. So here he is, as you can see, we're on the 1st of June 2024 and Olivier Giroud is an LAFC player. At the age of 37 years old, 127 caps, 56 goals. He's only valued between 650k and 2 million on 57 grand a week. Current contract ends at the end of this year, but we'll see how that goes. We'll just take a look and see how he's been getting on in Milan last season. He actually managed to score 19 league goals last season, so he's still at the top of his game, and he has now obviously moved over to America, and then the MLS, they are halfway through the season. So if we take a look at the schedule, they've not had the best start this year. They've actually drawn a hell of a lot of games. They've only won a couple, and they're out of the US Open Cup in the 5th round, losing to Seattle. So that actually places them in the MLS. If we take a look at the standings here in the Western Conference, which is where they play, they are just in the playoff places. They are sitting in 9th place, just holding on to that playoff place. And in the Supporters' Shield, which is where you add the Eastern and Western Conference into one, they are sitting in a lowly 22nd place, which is not where they're expected to be. But if we take a look, we can see, just look at the BMO Stadium here, 22,000 capacity, one of the biggest clubs in America in terms of reputation. They must be, even though they are a new side. They are rich. We'll see exactly how they get on. We'll move right ahead to the end of the league phase to see if they've managed to qualify for the playoffs with Olivier Giroud at the club. So here we are looking at the Western Conference, and LAFC have managed to go from 9th up to 2nd with the help of Olivier Giroud. 3 points off top spot in the Western Conference. In the Supporters' Shield table, we've jumped all the way up to 5th. So overall, if we take a look in the, we don't want to see the Eastern, the Western Conference, we started off down in 9th. So we started off with them here. They started off 9th, then they just powered their way up the table. We're sitting for 2nd for a long time. And in the Supporters' Shield, if we again take a look at LAFC, they have just skyrocketed up that table. So we're about to start in the playoffs, and if we take a look, we have skipped the wild card. We are in the first round. Now, I'll just explain a wee bit. In the first round, you play home and away. However, it's not an aggregate score. You cannot draw either game. So if you draw 0-0 in one of the games, you have a penalty shootout, and then you win that tie. If you both win a tie, you play a third deciding tie. I don't know why, because then after that in the playoffs, it's just one game. Win, you're through. Lose, you're out. I don't know why they do it that way. It's American sports for you. So we'll jump ahead to the end of the playoffs and see exactly how the season finished for Olivier Giroud. So if we see here, looking at the round tree, we can see we put out Seattle in the first round. We beat Colorado 3-0 in the semi-finals before beating Real Salt Lake 3-1 in extra time in the final, which set up a showdown in the MLS Cup final against Montreal, in which we won 2-1. So we'll take a look, we'll see how the games actually did overall. So in the West Conference, we can see, this is what I'm talking about, we managed to beat Seattle in the first game, although we drew one each with Giroud scoring. We won on penalties. Second leg, we lost 2-1 to Seattle, so that set up the decider, in which Giroud bagged 2 goals in the 74th and 75th minute to beat Seattle, to put us through the semi-finals, where we managed to beat Colorado 3-0, and then in the Western Conference final, it was 1-1 going into extra time. We managed to win 3-1, Thomas Angel with 2 goals, and then in the MLS Cup final, we won 2-1. Giroud putting us ahead 17 minutes in. I don't know why I keep saying we, it's an experiment, I'm not in charge here. So there you go, they have won the MLS Cup. Taking a look at his stats overall, still looks absolutely phenomenal, but he's now 38. His contract has been extended to the end of 2025, which I think is when it ends in real life. Take a look at his career stats, see how he got on. So in his season here, he played 14 league games, scored 9 goals, played 16 games in total, bagging 10 goals, didn't get any assists in this time. And if we look at his milestones, look at his competitions, he won the Euros with France as an LAFC player. He then won, as we saw, the Western Conference, and they also won the Major League Soccer Cup. So, already won 2 trophies with LAFC. It looks like it's been a great acquisition for them so far. Reputation's going up, as you can see here. He is now the vice captain. He's the key player. We'll go ahead to start season 2. So we're back here on the 20th of February 2025, looking at LAFC. Olivier Giroud is now the captain of the club. He's not just the vice captain, he is the captain. If we look at the competitions that the team will be playing in, they're playing in the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup, which is their version of the FA Cup. The CONCACAF Champions League, we are playing Real España in the second leg. I think they are from Honduras. They're from Honduras. And then we've obviously got the Major League Soccer and the Supporters' Shield, which is kind of, it's 2 separate trophies, but it's the same games that play in the league phase, if that makes sense. Probably not, because I've worded that horrendously. Looking again at Olivier Giroud, again, his contract still to the end of 2025, still looks absolutely phenomenal. He's got 17 for finishing, 19 for heading, he can take a penalty still, mentals are still great, physicals are great. It looks like he can keep going, although he has decided he's going to retire 28th of December this year, so he has one final full season at LAFC. Let's jump ahead to the end of the league phase, see if they've managed to qualify for the playoffs yet again. As you can see here, we're on the 19th of October, and Giroud has led LAFC to the top of the Western Conference this year. Again though, that means nothing. Being top means nothing, because you then go through to the playoffs, you could lose, and then it doesn't actually matter. So we actually had a pretty good record. We actually were ahead of Seattle on goal difference this time, and 1 point clear of Austin. And in the Supporters Shield League table, we finished in second. We were some wee distance away from New York City there. But as you can see already, player stat wise, Olivier Giroud is the top scorer in the league so far this season with 16 goals in 27 games. Great season for him. In his final season, he is doing the business. We'll now go ahead, we will look at the playoffs, see how the season ends for LAFC, check and see if they've won the Open Cup or if they've done anything in the Champions League, and then we'll just look at Giroud's achievements as a whole at LAFC. We'll be back in a split second. This season, the Western Conference, we obviously skipped the wildcard round. We beat Sporting Kansas in the first round, beat San Jose in the semi-final, and then beat Real Salt Lake again in the final. We'll take a look and see how we got on in the MLS Cup. Did we manage to beat the champions of the Eastern Conference? We did. We've beaten Messi's Inter Miami 2-1. We'll take a look at this, and it was him. Olivier Giroud scored the 2 goals to lift the MLS Cup yet again. We'll go and have a look. We'll just look at the fixtures in more detail this season, see exactly how we've done throughout the season and throughout the playoffs. So scrolling through the season, we can see we've not actually had a great start overall here. A lot of draws. The month of April was horrific for us, hardly scoring any goals as well. But then we were hard to beat towards the back end of the season. In the first round, we won 3-1 against Sporting Kansas. Olivier Giroud bagging a goal there. In the next game, we won 2-1. He didn't score in this one. In San Jose, we won 1-0 in the first round. The semi-final. And then in the final against Real Salt Lake, we won 2-0. Olivier Giroud scoring in the 39th minute. And then, as we saw in the MLS Cup, 2 goals for Olivier Giroud. Now go and we'll see what other competitions we won, see if we did anything else. So as we saw, second in the Supporters Shield, gutting. We managed to media prediction -1th, whatever that means. So we won the MLS Cup, we won the Campeones Cup, beating Tigres from Mexico on penalties after a 1-1 draw. Who scored there? Buick. The Campeones Cup, I think it's the winners of the MLS Cup from America against the winners of the Mexican division. I think it's just like a kind of Super Cup type thing. And then we can see there, we'll actually look at the fixtures. It might be easier because some of these competitions will run at a different time to our league season. So if we look, Champions League, we beat Real España 2-0 in the first leg and then beat them 2-1 in the second leg. The quarterfinals, unfortunately, we lost out 1-0 to Cincinnati before Mario Gonzalez put us 2-0 up in the second leg, going through 2-1, and then in the semi-finals we drew 1 each with Monterrey, and then we managed to beat them 2-1, and then we had the final against America, in which unfortunately we lost in extra time despite Olivier Giroud scoring twice. He could have won a final Champions League to seal his career for him. And in the Open Cup, we haven't actually seen how we've done. We started in the 4th round, lost straight away. Lost to rivals LA Galaxy, not exactly what we want to see. We were in the FIFA Club World Cup, lost 1-0 to Chelsea. We drew 2 each with Casablanca. That's pretty poor. Olivier Giroud scoring in that one. And we drew 2 each with Boca Juniors as well. There we have it. Then in the Leagues Cup, which I think is a secondary competition in CONCACAF, I'm not entirely sure. If anyone knows, let me know down below. So in the quarterfinals, we beat Pachuca 2-0, 2 goals from Olivier Giroud. In the semi-final, we managed to win on penalties against Chivas, and then in the final, on penalties, we have beaten rivals Austin FC, and that was only in the South final actually. No idea what that means. In the playoff semi-final, we lost 1-0 to New York City FC, and then we lost in third place playoff 2-1 to Colorado. So as you can see, sports in America is very confusing. I read the word final, I assumed we were in the final. No, it's the South final, whatever that means. I don't know how the USA is in the South. I don't know, I don't know. But we'll now look at Giroud, see exactly how his entire time at LAFC has finished. As you can see, he is retiring just in a couple of weeks. Career stats, so 10 goals in his first season here, 25 goals in his second season. His competition milestones, as we can see, 2 Western Conference champions, 2 Major League Soccer Cup champions. It's not here, but he won the Campeones Cup and he was a CONCACAF runners-up as well. In terms of any awards, LAFC, Team of the Week, Player of the Month, don't really care much about those. He was in the MLS Best 11, alongside teammates James Sands, Buanga and Sean Johnston in goals. And he also was presented with the MLS Golden Boot by Audi. So there we have it. That is Olivier Giroud's time at LAFC come to an end. He spent 1.5 seasons there and he did pretty well. If you're an LAFC fan, are you looking forward to seeing Giroud at the club? I would be if I was an LAFC fan. Absolutely love the guy. I think he's one of the best strikers I've seen. I know a lot of people give him a lot of stick, but I see, as a focal point, I just think he's phenomenal. The 2018 World Cup, he showed exactly that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you next time with more experiments just like this.